Each of our 5 horses and riders are in the arena. And on the screen, you can see today's Tom Sawyer, the current leader, and Natalia Neneman. And we bring in Ashley Gubich for her insights. Show hunters to field hunters. What's the difference?
If you look at them right now, they look pretty much the same. You have pretty much the same classical dress, a little bit of variety in the colors that you might see out there. You'll probably see some people carrying a different kind of whip with them that's more of a long, loose leather that they have rolled up, or some don't have it rolled up. That's to be used out on the field. And from that, what you will see is you'll see a number of different paces. You still want that nice classy rhythm and forward movement, but you will see some more forward movement, and you'll see a gallop, and you'll see a bit more adjustability needed.
Horses and riders are now being judged at the walk. You're being judged at the walk. Trot, please. Riders, please trot.
So we're still looking for that nice, round, steady trot in the field hunters. They can be a little more forward here, but it's really about consistency and a presence. You do want a bit more ground covering trot, but you don't want to see that tension and that nervousness and the braciness in the horses.
We had someone come by to give us some information about one of the connections, but now happy to be back with you as we watch the field hunters under saddle, and then we'll see them individually going through this course. Walk, please. Riders, walk. The course that we'll be seeing coming up was designed by Maggie Wright from the Iroquois Hunt Club. Riders canter, all canter. And when they're out in the field, you have the hounds out there. How do thoroughbreds generally deal with their other animals that will be out there with them?
Just like any other breed, you have a whole wide range of how a horse is going to react with that. I have dogs, I have horses, and generally after a healthy introduction, they do really well together. There are a lot of very successful field hunters that are thoroughbreds and fit right into that mix, but it definitely is a much different environment. There's a lot more energy, a lot more noise, and a lot of activity going a lot of different places. So more for the horse to pay attention to, and a lot of times it takes a little getting used to. So it's really cool to hear some of these horses' journeys, and they go out on their first hunt, and they're rock stars.
Walk, please, riders, walk. I would say that racetrack life sometimes prepares these horses for that because of all the distractions at the track as far as people cheering. Riders reverse and change directions.
Yes and no. I thought that for a long time also, and then kept getting these horses off the track that got really frazzled in different situations right off the track. And if you really think about it, yes, there's a lot going on, but everywhere they go, it's the same thing.
Trot, please, riders, trot.
So they'll be used to tractors or being ponied or horses running past them on the track in a specific direction. But there is a very set system on the racetrack, and they're used to the chaos specifically of the racetrack. And some horses then translate that well and can handle a new chaos in a different environment, and then some really have to learn
Riders, halt.
how to be flexible in different situations.
Canter, please.
Again, this shows a little bit of that adjustability and rideability. Rideability is one of the things they're being judged on. This is the first time today that we've seen a horse's halt judge. There was a halt in the flat for eventing as well, but it's more of a go through. This is a halt and it's established. I believe they had to hold for 5 seconds. And then from there, they were asked to move off from the canter. So these are different situations they may be presented with when they're out in the field, and they want to see how easily these horses can adjust to different situations that they're in.
And it shows really the bond that horse and rider have to have. And I think a lot of the times with these horses so new to the discipline, they really rely on their rider to give them the cue and the direction that they need.
Yeah, definitely a lot of trust out there right now, and certainly out when they were doing the mock hunt somewhere where they probably had not been. They had a very large number of horses out
Walk,
there.
please, riders, walk.
And it really is a sight to see out here in Kentucky. It was a beautiful, crisp, foggy morning, and you could see the horses going through the fog, and the whole environment is just really awesome to see. If you get a chance, it's definitely worth seeing.
Thank you, riders. You're excused, and we will see them back here individually in a moment as they go through the field hunter course.
So a pretty solid group in that hack there. If you saw, there's a couple horses that were up from time to time, but overall I think that was a better group than we saw in the show hunters, because they've probably been exposed to a bit more than the horses that have just gone to some hunter shows and gone through the outdoor arena and not done too much more. So these guys really handled well the environment here in the indoor.
Just to be here is quite remarkable. It's such a beautiful setting, the capital really of the horse world in the United States. And you can see on the screen some wonderful drone footage from the mock hunt. It's almost like we're looking at a movie set, a postcard, and to have these horses who've raced all over the country in all kinds of different environments to be here at the Kentucky Horse Park. It's really amazing the journey that these horses have taken in order to make it back here to the heart of horse country. Currently in 5th place is Big Feet. Big Feet will be ridden by Sarah Katz from Reisterstown, Maryland, and this is a good-looking 16-2 chestnut gelding, a horse who was a stakes winner in 2013 at Parks in Pennsylvania in the Crowd Pleaser handicap. And with that stakes win, one of only 2 wins in his career, but a big win, a $75,000 stakes win, earned over $138,000 in his career. So our first horse is taking on the course, and the first obstacle in front of them is a vertical, the same vertical that we saw in the hunter course. He's a big, good-looking chestnut horse, Ashley.
He is. He's definitely game to go out there and do his job. He's a little bit up, and you can see his tension, which is kind of driving him down on his forehand, making some deep lines for him. But his rider's doing a good job of steadying him now, and she'll probably take this corner as an opportunity to set him back and get him kind of relaxed. And you see he's got a little bit better rhythm coming here to this next log.
I'll have to take the coupe, and then they'll head to the other end of the arena before coming back towards us and going in front of the judges for an A to B combination. And able to make that 2-stride line. And now here's where it becomes much different than the previous disciplines that we saw. And horse and rider come down to the walk as they head over to this vertical and they'll have to drop the rail.
And again, what we're seeing is different situations that may arise when you're out on the field. And if you see, she used her whip, and it's made in such a way that it can be a functional use, not just to communicate with your horse, but to help take down a rail or open a gate or move some brush. So it's almost like a extra reach off your arm to help move whatever environmental changes are out there that you can't really predict or plan for. So again, this is a different pattern than you saw from the hunters, because you need to see a horse that's ready to gallop on and move forward and then stop and allow their rider to get off and make changes and make adjustments, and the horse has to stay in stride and be ready for whatever pops up.
Sometimes to get to the jump and say, hey, go take it, and then in this case be able to say, no, we're going to stop, we're going to drop the rail, and now horse and rider will remount, like you said, a situation that would be very common in the field.
And this is something that's big for me. I really, really like a horse that will stand. A lot of the horses are not, all of the horses pretty much at the track are not trained to stand. It's not anything that's required for their job, and most every horse that comes off the track needs to learn how to wait and be patient, especially a big boy like this. She's got a long way up there. So having a horse that understands that his job is to wait there is really important, and then to be able to pick it up and just take a nice little roll like that. Roll top is pretty good, and now really pick it up, and we see him gallop. He's stretching out, again getting a little bit excited. They do ask a lot of them here, so we go from mounting, halted, to gallop, and back down to the halt.
Picture perfect moment at the end as you saw the flash go off for the finish of the run by Big Feet and Sarah Katz from Riderstown, Maryland. A former stakes winner who earned $138,000 on the track, Pennsylvania bred, and a fairly unique journey to this Thoroughbred Makeover, because not only did he run on the track, but ran in steeplechase races as well. And so experience running in the steeplechases in the field, preparing for this field hunter discipline. So the flat to the steeplechase, and in field hunters with Sarah Katz. Next in the arena we have bridle number 296, Dynamite Warrior, a horse who we'll see again in the next discipline in dressage. Dynamite Warrior is ridden by Holly Zekin from Metamora, Michigan. This is a horse that's owned by Lieutenant Colonel John Rubin, a 5-year-old gelding, another chestnut, and one who had a closing style in races, bred in Indiana and raced exclusively at Indiana Grand. So you got a horse in field hunters and then also a finalist in dressage, and being able to make the finals in 2 disciplines, retired from racing in October, and maybe that suggests that this horse could do other disciplines too. I don't know, how about eventing?
Well, generally, if you're willing to go over jumps outside of an arena and then you score pretty well on dressage, that screams eventing to me. Now, I'm an eventer and try to make everything an event horse, but I'm liking the way this horse is super keen to the jumps. He's not really looking at anything, and then when he flats, you see he rounds pretty well and gets that back up, and you can see that potential there to also put in a nice dressage. There we go. That's a nice trot that I'd like to see in a dressage test too.
That'll be coming up as the next discipline to go inside the TCA covered arena. And now Holly and Dynamite Warrior will have to drop the rail. They reach down and do so, and then they'll go to the trot. And from the trot, they'll come back around and take the next jump. This horse seems very responsive to Holly.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see this horse has got a nice adjustability. I'll be interested to see how he picks it up for the gallop, and more so how he comes back off the gallop down to that halt. That's a big challenge for a lot of these guys. He seems pretty keen to do anything that's asked of him, and I'll like to see how he handles that change up. All right, and as she gets set up, let's see how she prepares here to have him move forward. There you go, just like a show hunter, adding a little intro circle.
So the last of the jumps, taking the roll top, and now this is what you wanted to see,
Yeah,
the
there he goes.
horse open up. And now coming down to the halt. That draws an applause from the crowd. Dynamite Warrior and Holly second, and if you like what you see, well, you'll see this horse and rider soon in the next discipline, and that will be in dressage. Holly from Metamora, Michigan, has been a top-level eventer to the CIC 3-star level and has placed all over the country in Colorado, in Florida, the Carolinas, and has been training numerous off-the-track thoroughbreds in eventing, dressage, and fox hunting, and coaches students on off-the-track thoroughbreds all the way up to the CCI 1-star level.
I think he wanted that gallop
This
to go a
horse
little bit longer.
Is a Paulus pony, and later on we'll be honoring, as part of the award ceremony, the very special Ira Schulman Thoroughbred Rehoming Award to Amy Lynn Paulus, who through social media has been able to help rehome countless racehorses into their next careers. Next to go will be Indy's Lil Bro. Indy's Lil Bro is ridden by Lauren Burke from nearby Versailles, Kentucky. Bay Gelding, who raced here in Kentucky, raced 1 star at Churchill Downs, 1 star at Keeneland, beaten over 20 lengths in each of those races, and earning just $500 on the track. So now switching to a new career, and we saw this pair in freestyle yesterday, and they've made the finals in the Field Hunters, and we'll see them take on the Field Hunter course next.
Had a little bit of a questionable distance there. Looked like she could have pushed him forward just a little bit earlier and helped him through that jump a little bit.
But some time here to recollect to the Oxer. And
Better
that one,
distance.
like you said, better distance. Smooth, and now coming around to the eventing jump.
He may want to be an eventer also. He got pretty excited to see those logs and took her straight down right where he needed to be to take that.
And now they'll come past the judges with this combination. And a good ride through that 2-stride.
This pair is really nice to watch. It's a little hard to see, but it's supposed to be. There's a lot of tiny little things that this rider is doing, and her horse is responding so well. Everything's looking seamless. I really like the rhythm they have. And again, they're hitting their distances everywhere, and it's because they're working together, and they look like they've done this before a few times.
Horse gives a little side pass to get closer to the rail, and no problem in dropping that rail.
Yep, completely unfazed there. This is what you're looking for. All these different environments, couldn't be bothered about it.
It's almost like horses asking the rider, what do you want me to do? And this is a very good rider who's able to give those cues, and the horse is locked in on what the rider wants.
Just see overall a really well-mannered horse, really schooled. He knows what he's supposed to do, and he's happy to do it.
It's a good-looking canter there.
And again, a tiny little adjustment brings him right to where he needs to be. Let's see if he's happy moving out too. Not the fastest we've seen, but really, really well balanced and under control. I like it.
A nice controlled round from Indy's Lil Bro and Lauren Burke from For Sales, Kentucky. This is a horse that is for sale as part of the ASPCA Makeover Marketplace, and one that would make a very nice off-the-track thoroughbred prospect. Competed in freestyle, field hunters, and the foundation that Lauren has put into this horse suggests that there could be other disciplines on the docket in the future. The plants that have been out on course as part of the decor for the courses for the Thoroughbred Makeover, they are for sale, and you can pick up one of these plants if you'd like to take them home at the store. And the silent auction will be closing at 4 o'clock this afternoon. You can see the items on the concourse at the Kentucky Horse Park. Make a bid on them, which takes us to our next horse, who is named Secret Bid. Secret Bid is bridle number 481, ridden by Cameron Sadler from Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Ooh, and he has a big jump.
Well, this pair did compete in show jumpers, so the jumping is definitely well within the reach of this horse.
Yeah, when they talk about Scopy, that's kind of what they're looking for right there. This horse certainly does not need to put that much effort into it, but I'll be surprised if he does hit a rail, it's probably because of misjudgment of distance, not because he's too low.
Let's see how he handles this combination here, because if you take a big jump, the next one comes up pretty quickly.
Yeah, he is taking a big jump, but he is not coming down on his forehand and getting strung out after it, which is really great to see. He also took a nice tight turn in there, which we haven't seen too much. I can see why this horse was doing jumpers.
This rider, Cameron Sadler from Southern Pines, North Carolina, has been fox hunting for almost 5 decades and has been a master of foxhounds for Moore County Hounds since 2003. Has hunted on 80 different hunts around the world, including not only in the United States, but as well as in Australia, New Zealand, England, Ireland, France, and Canada.
So he's shown his opinion that he loves to jump, and he's not as big a fan at standing
At
to
not
have
jumping.
at not jumping. I think he was hoping she'd leave that up so he could take the bigger jump.
I think he wants a challenge, but that rail is dropped, so he comes up to this one. And this is the traditional garb for fox hunting, the distinctive red coat.
Yes, I like to see that there's a red coat out there. That's when you think about, like you said, traditional fox hunting. I'm from Northern Virginia, and we see a lot of that out there. That's fox hunting country, and you get a big group of people and everyone in their red coats and their hounds, and it is certainly a sight to see.
This is a competition here, but there's such a social element to it as well.
Absolutely. Generally, with this part of the actual official dress, most of these people will probably have a flask tucked into their show coat somewhere.
Whatever works.
Hey, it's cold in the morning sometimes.
It was beautiful yesterday morning for the Stirrup Cup. And there's some dramatic footage that our media partners here at Wrigley Media showed drone footage, which was absolutely picture perfect of the horses with the hounds and traversing these beautiful grounds here in Lexington at the Kentucky Horse Park.
And he is happy to be back in jumping.
Let's see how he is
likes
galloping.
to go. Yeah, there we go. I like it. Got the whip going.
This horse sired by Street Cry, and you could hear Cameron Sadler giving out a cry to Secret Bid. Cameron, a veteran with almost 5 decades of fox hunting experience, and has been the master of foxhounds for Moore County Hounds since 2003, has hunted on more than 80 hunts around the world in the United States, Australia, New Zealand, England, Ireland, France, and Canada, and has been recognized at high-level shows aboard some thoroughbreds that have been retrained. And this is the latest prospect, and you can see the jumping capability of this horse, who is also in show jumpers. And so now we turn our attention to the next horse, who is the current leader heading into the finals, and it is today's Tom Sawyer, who is ridden by Natalia Neneman from Ocala, Florida. And Natalia, an accomplished eventer who completed the 2018 Richland Park CIC 3-star, as well as the 3-star at the Ocala Jockey Club, and has worked for 5 years with renowned trainer Buck Davidson. And this is today's Tom Sawyer, who is a 2-year-old in training at Ocala, was purchased for $260,000, trained in New York at Saratoga and Belmont, but never made it on the track, but now off the track competed in eventing, and here in Field Hunters making the finals and the current leaders as they prepare to take on the Field Hunter course. Judges are ready for you. Here is today's Tom Sawyer and Natalia Neneman.
This is a really nicely conditioned horse. I like to see a horse that's really well balanced and is in good condition. You can see he's fed well, got a gorgeous coat, and I really like to see that kind of weight on a thoroughbred. It's good to see coming off the track and get right into that nice, healthy condition you want to see for the hunters.
When you have a horse like this, I mean, he looks the part, and he's presumably looked the part his entire life. He garnered attention of more than $250,000 as a 2-year-old, and racing wasn't in his cards, but it's translating here, and it's amazing to see events like this and the other disciplines that give such gorgeous horses the opportunity to show their stuff wherein racing may not have been in the cards. This is a horse who is on to big things, and just a 5-year-old, but a gorgeous and big gray gelding.
Yes, just very well balanced. And again, he's pretty forward today, but that is not necessarily anything that he is going to have held against him. If he were in the show hunter ring, it'd be a tiny bit too forward, but for this, he's game. He's looking. You can see his ears are forward. He's looking for those jumps, and they really are a good pair. She's handling them real well.
These horses are being judged on rideability, open gallop, and demeanor. I like the demeanor of this horse, looking around, but also focusing on what the rider wants, and
completely willing to stand and wait. A little question there why he had to halt again. Once he figured it out, super happy to do it, not jigging around. You can see there's no tension anywhere in him. His ears are happy, and when they're not perked up ready for a jump, they're just kind of relaxed and taking in everything.
This event is sponsored by the Masters of Foxhounds Association, courtesy of Ingram Industry Charities, and the Thoroughbred Makeover would not be possible without the support of so many different organizations in the sport horse world, but also in the racing world, and organizations like Godolphin and Judmont Farm, Santa Anita, Churchill Downs have been great supporters of the horses after they finish racing. That's what the horse likes to do. Went right at that final jump.
Here's that gallop. Really nice and classy. Again, not flat out, but it doesn't need to be. I like to see that rolling gallop. And because of that, beautiful halt at the end. Well done.
Big round of applause for this good-looking gray, today's Tom Sawyer. A big thank you to the Masters of Foxhounds Association and Ingram Industries Charities for the support of the Field Hunter program at the Thoroughbred Makeover. Judges are tallying the totals, which will be added to the scores from the mock hunt. While the scores are still being tallied, we can tell you about the Best Turned Out Award. And the winner of this year's Best Turned Out Award was bridle number 490, Slew the Zodiac, and Britt Vegas. Britt has quite a large following in the OTTB community and tells the story of Zodi, a horse who just making it here was quite an accomplishment after suffering an eye injury a few weeks ago in training, and has performed very well and also has looked brilliantly too. And Britt Vegas and Slew the Zodiac winning the Best Turned Out Award, sponsored by Nina Bonney, and will receive a halter from Clever with Leather. We'll first announce the results from 10th through 6th. Finishing in 10th place, bridle number 519, Thankfulness and Jennifer Reisenbichler. 9th went to bridle number 185, Tis Solo Vino and Tom Mansman. 8th place and Best Turned Out Bridle number 490, Slew the Zodiac in Britt Vegas. 7th, bridle number 454, Red Doctober in Kristen Schlachter. And in 6th place, bridle number 204, Yodeling Honey and Sarah McMurdy. We're still sorting out the top 5, and we have them now. Finishing we'll first recognize the top junior, and the top junior was bridle number 515, Juliana Bona and Tactical Maneuver. Now we have the top 5 in the Field Hunter division, presented by the Masters of Foxhounds Association. And finishing in 5th place is bridle number 481, Secret Bid and Cameron Sadler. 4th place, bridle number 296, Dynamite Warrior and Holly Zekin. 3rd went to bridle number 238, Big Feet and Sarah Katz. 2nd place, bridle number 91, Indy's Lil Bro and Lauren Burke. And the winner of the Field Hunter division for 2018 at the Thoroughbred Makeover is bridle number 187, today's Tom Sawyer and Natalia Neneman. As you can see in the arena, some gorgeous horses for the Field Hunter division, and when it came to best turned out, the judges had another horse that they wanted to recognize in addition to Britt Vegas and Slew the Zodiac, and also as a best turned out would like to salute bridle number 28, Emma Engel, with the horse Command the Stars from Carrollton, Georgia. The winner receives the $5,000 top prize, as well as a horseware cooler, Godolphin cooler, Noble Outfitters boot bags, and a set of Tribute equine polos. And let's hear it one more time for the horses and riders who were the top of the Field Hunter division.
nice to meet you.